You have, of course, heard by now, this is not going to come as news. I think the news is the fact that the inflation as far as food prices are concerned shows no end. And that's the news this week. Dr. SYLVAIN Charlebois, who's Senior Director at Agri-Food Analytics Lab and a professor at Dalhousie University, is on the line. And I understand we reach you today in Banff, Alberta, and you just finished telling us you're not leaving your car today, right?
No, it's minus 20. It just landed a few hours ago. It's actually snow. It's beautiful, you know. If you've been to Banff close to Christmas, it's just a beautiful city. But you know, Halifax was 10 degrees, so it's a bit rough on the body right now.
Oh. Well, I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding a drive-through, so you'll be fine.
I'm sure.
All right, let's talk about this continuing inflation. We've talked about inflation food for a while now. My question today, as we see new numbers projecting into the future, is there an end date in sight anywhere?
Yeah, food inflation is the gift that keeps on giving, I guess. It's 2023 will offer us a tale of two stories. So the first half is likely going to look a lot like 2022. We are expecting prices to increase across the board, but in the second half, we're expecting an economic slowdown, and that really tends to put pressure on prices downwards. More specials, more loss leaders. So, a recession is not something that we want, but there is a silver lining. It may actually be the grocery store may actually become more affordable.
I read a quote by you that said that consumers will continue to get smarter about grocery shopping, navigating through the so-called food inflation storm. So, SYLVAIN, that it brings up two questions for me. One, it infers somehow that maybe it shouldn't be as bad as it is. Is it being falsely inflated? Are we getting gouged? And then if we're going to get smarter, how do we get smarter, SYLVAIN?
Well, actually, I was in Ottawa yesterday testifying before the standing committee in Agri-Food about food inflation, and some executives were in the room as well, Loblaws and Empire Sobeys, and we were all asking ourselves the question whether or not there is abuse out there, and we haven't found any evidence at retail. We do have some concerns up the food chain. Really, it's like, you know, a lot of people are blaming grocers. It's like blaming your waiter at a restaurant when you're served a cold dish or the dish has something wrong with it. It may not be the server's fault. It may actually be back of the house where there's a problem. So you kind of have to look at things a little bit more wisely when you look at inflation. But the one thing that we need to remind ourselves is that Canada actually has the second lowest food inflation rate amongst the G7 countries. And if you add Holland and Denmark, two agri-food super powerhouses, we're still number 2 after Japan. So in the grand scheme of things, we're not doing too badly, but I don't think it's going to change the mind of people in Montreal going shopping and seeing skyrocketing prices at the grocery store.
Well, okay, so I understand. I know we all at the beginning were wondering what was bringing this on. So yes, we have a falling dollar, the situation in Ukraine. We talked a lot, SYLVAIN, about supply constraints. Yes, the situation in Ukraine is still as bad as it was, but some of those other things seem to have eased. Not the dollar, because it continues to fall, but supply constraints, from what I hear, it's not as big an issue anymore. So why are we still seeing this happen?
You know, over the last 3-4 years, we've seen a sequence of several macroeconomic factors, really, and it has not stopped. And there's always pockets of things that are really pushing prices higher. Look at lettuce, for example, in November. Lettuce went up 30% across the country. I don't know exactly what happened in Montreal. If you had a hard time getting lettuce, I suspect that you were having a hard time getting lettuce anywhere.
It was really
or
expensive.
If you did find that it was expensive, that's due to California and the drought, climate change. So there's always something going on that is pushing prices higher these days, and that's why we kind of say it's this and that, but every SKU at the grocery store, every vertical, every product will have its own story.
This number that Canadian families, the food price report predicting that we're going to spend $1,065 more on food next year. I mean, I find that quite shocking. And you say we're going to get better, right, as consumers and trying to find deals. How do we get better, Sylvain? Where do we start to try and not spend that much?
Well, first of all, you're in Montreal. Okay, Montreal is known as the hub of independent grocers in Canada. That's where you find the highest number of independent grocers. Those grocers are not big box stores. They're small, but they're good. And They offer quality, and that quality sometimes will come at a cheap price.
You're right.
What I would do, I would alternate between 2 and 3 stores over 2-3 weeks. Not everyone can actually go and visit 2-3 stores every week. Just go to one store, and before you leave your home, look on the internet and see exactly what the fair value of a product is on your list. When you show up at the grocery store, if that price, if a price you see doesn't match price on your list, just walk away. Discipline will actually pay off. And then the next week, go for that product, and you'll see, what you'll find out is that prices actually change every single day. Price dynamics are completely different than just 2-3 years ago.
Okay, well, that makes us feel a little bit better. Before we let you go, I want to talk about, you're talking about we're a hub for growing things and that we're doing better on that front. I remember talking about lab-grown meat, and I think we spoke to you once and you were about to eat a steak or ate a steak that had been on your counter at room temperature for like 2 weeks. So can you talk to us a little bit about the future of lab-grown meat and lab-grown poultry?
Well, that steak that was sent to me from Hong Kong was actually real steak. It was just wrapped into some high-tech packaging, allowing it to be transported kilometers, thousands of kilometers at room temperature.
Okay.
And I ate it. It was great. Now, we're talking about cellular proteins grown in a lab, okay? And it's the same thing as chicken or beef or pork, but instead of feeding animals, you're feeding cells with amino acids and different sort of vitamins and things like that. And over 2-3 weeks, you end up with a piece of meat. So it just got approved in the United States by the FDA, and that was a big deal. So in the United States, they're months away from getting the approval of the USDA, and then you'll start seeing chicken, cellular chicken.
Wow.
They don't like the word lab grown, by the way, because lab grown doesn't really taste good, doesn't sound good.
Mm-hmm.
They use cellular or cultivated chicken, and to produce cultivated chicken is cheaper. You don't have to deal with avian flu. You don't have to deal with E. coli or salmonella. You don't have to deal with animal welfare advocates. I mean, there's a lot of pluses out there that are making venture capitalists invest a lot of money in these technologies.
How's it taste?
I haven't tasted it. I actually tasted lab cheese just about three months ago, I guess, from Remilk in Israel. It was sent to me as a research sample, and it was cream cheese, actually, and my wife put regular cream cheese on one cracker, the Remilk cream cheese on the other. Couldn't taste the difference at all.
Wow.
So this is the future.
Okay.
This is the future. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, impossible cream cheese. Dr. SYLVAIN CHARLEBOIS from Dalhousie University, thanks so much for the time this afternoon. Good luck in dealing with the -20 the rest of the day.
Stay warm.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.